If you're tuned in, you're tuned in to another episode of that Javi G show. It's kind of an unbagging today, but we're just gonna like touch a few bases, kind of. You know, if you've never met me before and you don't know me personally, this is my introduction to y'all. So sit back, have a soda pop, do something, and just listen to me talk for a minute. All right, guys. So I guess a little bit about myself, kind of what got me into this YouTube. And you know, I talk about it a lot too. Like, I should have started with like TikTok, or I should have did this, but I never thought TikTok would ever really take it that far. Like, I really never thought that they would, like, it was like worth my time. And now when I think about it, it was like really worth my time. Like, I should have been on it and been with it and stuff like that. But that's far and in between. But if you know, you've been following me, I started off the podcast probably, I want to say it was right before the pandemic hit, 2020. I was kind of like, oh, I want to start a podcast. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to check this out. I'm going to see what these parts have to do with it, you know? So that, and when I started that, it was kind of strange, because I had other people kind of doing it, kind of not doing it. It was pandemic, so nobody wanted to even really come out and, you know, work with you, because they were scared they were going to get the whatever. So it gets rough, far and in between. But I mean, I'm pretty proud of, like, as far as I made it, like with YouTube, you know, everybody out there that, you know, likes, subscribes, shares, and does all that other stuff. I mean, that stuff's pretty awesome when, you know, you run into somebody like, damn, I've been rocking with your videos for a while, you know. So it's kind of a trip. And, you know, a little bit about me. You know, I'm not gonna get into my life growing up or whatever. You know, I grew up with a brother of, you know, parents, this and that, grandparents that love me, stuff like that. Kind of grew up around a family neighborhood, kind of, and it seemed like everybody was a family. But I mean, growing up there, I mean, I didn't really grow up. You know, I kind of got in a lot of trouble doing dumb stuff, and, you know, we all did that stuff when we were kids, and, you know, kind of grew up and kind of got into other stuff, and, you know, went away for a while, got out, came home, wasn't really doing anything, you know, just had a kid. Actually, I had 2 kids at the time. I was like 18, 19, and, you know, that's one of my biggest mistakes in life is, you know, not mistakes. I take that back. I did not mean to say it was a mistake, because it was a blessing. You know, I have 3 beautiful children. You know, and, you know, I was, you know, I went away, came back into the world, kind of started working with my brother, doing things like that. That's when I met a lot of other people. Because if you don't know, I actually went through, like, well, I still go through it, because I love it. I love the music wise, and I love stuff like that. I'm really big into, like, punk rock music too, other than hip hop. But I mean, I guess what I could say, like, my music experiences growing up, like, I've always been into like that stoner rock, you know what I mean? Or not stoner rock, but stoner hip hop, you know. Cypress Hill, The Far Side, Total Devastation, Spice One, people like that. And then other people I've met are the ones that have gotten me into stuff that I listen to now. You know, stuff that I've been listening to, like my boy Chance, you know, he'd always have the fresh hip hop shit, you know what I mean, East Coast. So he was always on some Wu-Tang, Ghostface, Raekwon the Chef, you know, Method Man, all that stuff. And then, you know, my brother, who's actually into all that punk rock, hardcore type of stuff, and that's what kind of got me into the Rancids, the Transplants, H2O, Agnostic Front, Madball, Warzone, Crown of Thorns. Like, I could go on for days on that list, you know, and that. But the hip hop crowd was a little different, because we was wearing Dickies that, you know, we were wearing creased up Ben Davis, you know what I mean, Cortezes, you know what I mean, just jamming proper those. Kid Frost. It was around the time La Raza came out, which was a killer jam, and you know that kind of got me into that proudness of your culture, you know. But you know, you got Cinco de Mayo coming up, and that's always been a big gathering of people that, and it seemed it was more of a neighborhood cultural type of thing than it was really for race and stuff like that. So which is cool, which is super dope. You know what I mean? It brought people together, you know. There was people like Rita Martinez, Sil Arteaga, Freaky Freddy, Ben Guerrero, like just people that I grew up with. You know, if you can see behind me, there's a lot of, you know, posters from the culture that, you know, my dad himself actually saved. So, you know, with songs like that to come out, like La Raza, and I mean, even what hit me kind of crazy was Malo Man Ace Mentirosa. When that came out, it was Spanglish, but it wasn't broken Spanish. Like Lighter Shade of Brown had songs, but they were broken. You know what I mean? Like they were broken Spanish songs, where it was like, what was that word? And even my grandma would be like, what the? I don't even know what they said. I can't even tell. But I mean, they were still cool. They were still part of the whole cultura and everything else that was going on. But you know, after we started working, you know, doing stuff like that, you know, I kind of fell into the hardcore thing, and that's when I started my first band, and I was it was pretty cool. It was called Vivian. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but I think it was probably 2002, 2003. We actually recorded, and you know, I've done a bunch of shows, stuff like that. Shout out to my boy Jim Taylor. Shout out to my boy Rocky Sandoval. Shout out to my boy Chad Arms. We started this band and kind of just took the ball and ran with it, which was pretty fun. You know, so I mean, went through that. You know, shit just kind of fumbled up. I ended up having to do a boat go to jail time in like 2005. I think it was between 4 and 5, because I saw 2 Christmases or 2 New Year's in the county jail. So, okay, I do the 18 months, do it, boom, get out of jail. All right, mind you, right now I'm living kind of homeless. I'm kind of, you know, drinking a lot, kind of doing my thing. I actually get to the spot, you know, get out, you know, have a girl, whatever. Dumbass goes right back to the same fucking problem that I had before I even went in. So I basically just said, F it. You know, I dropped it. You know, we ended up doing whatever. I ended up, you know, taking a hit for a homie or whatever, and ended up going upstate for a few years, you know. Did a minute, and I said I'm never going back to that lifestyle before. You know, I could say I grew up then, but I didn't grow up until a couple years ago. No bullshit. I get out, and you know, for those that know me, I mean, I've been to Denver, you know, started going to school, you know, there, graduated college, you know what I mean, been doing this, you know, went to the podcast, doing this, and just kind of, you know, felt like I grew up a little more now, you know what I mean, like, where I graduated and where I went to school, it isn't important, you know what I mean, it is not important right now, you know, it's not beneficial to proving that it's helped my life get better, because, I mean, basically, truthfully, and I'm not even gonna lie, you know, I got a lot of love for a lot of people that reached out, that have helped me out and done stuff like that, but, you know, there's a lot of people I've reached out, and they just kind of shined me on, like what I'm doing isn't important, you know, but I understand some people got lives, You got to realize that some people got lives. Some people got to live to, you know what I mean, live to survive. So there's really no hating towards that. I got nothing but love for a lot of people, which is pretty fucking awesome. You know what I mean? I've met a lot of people, a lot of genuine souls, you know. But I've met a lot of undercover haters that don't want to see you rise to the top, you know. And then that's the type of thing, like, I think saves me a lot, is pushing away from all the baloney and all the bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm good, you know. So, I mean, that's just a little intro into my life, into whatever. So, you know, you may have been watching me or listening to me for the past few years, but you've never really got to really say anything or hear about, you know, my life in a nutshell. So I think it's pretty dope. I think it's pretty dope that we got things like this, and I got a platform like this. Sorry I'm not doing no food today. It's not really nothing that I could really find to do. I didn't really feel like doing it. I felt like doing something like this just to, you know, get it out to y'all and show y'all what I do and stuff like that. Letting you know that I'm here trying to make it better. You know, I want to thank all of you, everybody who's like, subscribed, and, you know, who shares, who does things like that. You know, I got a few other people that, you know, work on these content creations and stuff like that. You know, I posted something the other day on Instagram that said, I got a lot of respect for you if you thought of an idea and you brought it to life. You know, because that's where I feel like I'm at right now. I feel like I've brought this to life. Like, people are usually like, you didn't do nothing, you didn't do nothing. But in all reality, it's like, I brought this to life, dude. Like, this is like, I brought this channel to life. I've raised it, and I've been working with it, and anybody that does this, man, I got a lot of respect for you, you know. And you know, all I could really just say is, if anybody's passing negative energy, man, just, you know what I mean, be like psychological about it. You know what I mean? Don't ask what's wrong with you, you know. Be like, hey, is there anything going on with you right now? You know, or are you okay? Stuff like that, man. Just look out for one another, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I'm very happy, proud of everybody out there. So, you know, in the long run, make sure you just stick with me. I'll be doing a lot more videos. Thanks for letting me ramble on your ear for a second. If you like more videos like this, leave me a comment down in the comments below. I'll leave a link in the description for my podcast. I'll be doing some giveaways and some stuff soon, so just stick with me. But I want to thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today. And until we see each other again, you know what to do out there. Hey, be safe.